good to go, and the sound.
It sounds good.
Yeah. And we got sound.
I got notification. Yeah,
Perfect.
Okay, my sound was off, so maybe I got the notification too. Yeah, because we on the same Benji, right?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we on that too.
Yeah, we. All right, hey, well, yeah, I hear you. Shalom. We are the brothers of the Great Millstone, the branch here in Chicago. And first and foremost, we want to give all praises, glory, and honor unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Double honors unto the elder bishops in Connecticut. Salutations to all our fellow laborers that are doing this work. And to the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth. To the few Akwaf that are listening and learning. All right, so we're just going to go right into this thing. And as you see, the title is The Hedge is Being Removed from around these Idumeans. They are not safe in their stolen country.
That's right.
There are lots of things that are happening to them in some of the most prestigious neighborhoods all over America. You know, up where the jiu-jitsu studio is in a very prestigious neighborhood. You got $1 million condos right across the street from us, and they are victims of crime. And as a matter of fact, and it's kind of fitting because that whole neighborhood used to be all Ephraim.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they basically stole Humble Park and has broken it up. You know, now you got Bucktown, Wicker Park, and all this stuff over there. Now, you know, like I said, that hedge is being removed, and these Edomites want to hire armed private security, which is just going to cause a bunch of racial strife. It's a lot. Yeah, so things are getting pretty bad, man, and so we're gonna allow this.
The Idumeans, they be lamenting on TV. They're like, it's so frustrating that because they're paying millions, you know, to basically not have that security. Because there was a woman that basically you could tell she wanted to say like it was because of them.
Yeah,
that there's crime and they get mad, man. It's messy.
Well, that whole area that they call West Town also. Which is just a little bit south of Wicker Park.
Mm-hmm.
That was all Wicker Park, Bucktown, and Westtown was all Humble Park.
That's right, and that was Jake.
And it was all Jake over there. When you got off at Damon in Milwaukee, that was all Jake. Because I used to go over there when I was a kid, when I was a teenager. I used to fit right in with them Ephraimites. They thought I was one of them. And I was over there all the time. And I had a client that lives in West Town, right on the not Superior but Erie, on Erie or Superior, one of them I forget, but they were always complaining, and this was going back 5-6 years ago, how they were constantly getting robbed by Ephraimite women. They were these Ephraimite girls were snatching their purses and shit like that. Her neighbor came out for work with her fancy purse handbag. And she got two Ephraimite girls rolled up on her, put the flops on her, poked her, and they hit her in the rib with a knife, and jumped in the car, and drove off in the car with her expensive handbag. What's wrong with
Louis.
It just
but like you said, that hedge is being removed. From matter of fact, somebody can grab that. Let's let that video play. Bob Kashar.
Kan.
And he's gonna mention Bel Air. You remember the Fresh Prince? his Fresh Prince of Bel Air. That's that neighborhood.
Today in the Hollywood Reporter, it's literally escaped from LA. What is happening here throughout the state? It's not just happening in LA, but it's happening all over. But there is an absolute explosion of crime in Los Angeles. Retail robberies and home burglaries are exploding, and it's happening in the nicest, wealthiest areas. They will take your dog. I think we remember when Lady Gaga's dog walker got shot and they stole her believe they were French bulldogs. They will take your Rolex watch, your Patek Philippe, your wallet, your car, any type of jewelry you have. They will take your life. It's happening in Santa Monica, Bel Air, Brentwood, Beverly Hills. Violent crime in Beverly Hills in the last 12 months is up 25%. That's astonishing to think that Beverly Hills would even have crime. Crime is beginning to explode. And so in this article, people living in these wealthy areas like Santa Monica, Pacific Palisades, Beverly Hills, Brentwood, they're installing safe rooms, safe doors, underground bunkers in some cases, private security, 24/7 security details. I mean, it's unbelievable what is happening. And I think to myself, and I know many of you are thinking the same thing, what does this look like in 2022? What does this look like the longer this economy erodes and decays? What's it going to look like when the markets crash? Now, I know market's up today. Everything's fine. Everybody's going to be complacent. Nobody's worried about risk. You know as well as I do, this cannot continue. And when the stock market goes...
And see, that was beautiful. Hand claps. That was beautiful, man. Because, like we said, that hedge of protection is being removed from around these Idumeans, and they're not safe any longer in that stolen country. You know, bring it out, Brother Babakasha.
Okay, this is Psalms 89 and 40. Thou hast broken down all his hedges.
Ooh.
Thou hast brought his strongholds to ruin. Okay, so between that one and this one here, which is Deuteronomy 28 and 66, and thy life shall hang in the doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shalt have no assurance of thy life. See, these was all curses that was on the Israelites.
Con.
But now 30 and 7, Deuteronomy said that they... Go ahead, John.
Bring it out.
Go ahead, you got it.
Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7. The Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee.
So they passing. They passing. And as they pass over to them, they got to deal with what we had to deal with all our life here in America or whatnot for generations.
Right, and they're not safe in their stolen streets.
That's right.
Because, it's like the brother Yawana always says. He always says that you Idumeans, you're walking around on every place that you are and everything that you own is stolen. You're on stolen land. Everything that you have doesn't belong to you and you got unrighteously. But Elder Karab, you got something, brother?
Yeah, this Proverbs 11 and 8. It says the righteous is delivered out of trouble and the wicked cometh in his stead. So everything we've been in trouble on these curses, now the Lord is flipping it, and you're going to take our place.
That's right. That's right. That's why they trying to entreat thee well, man. Matter of fact, let me get that, and I'm going to tell you something that I just found out from my older sister today in conversation. This is Job 20 and 10, and it reads, his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. And you got a lot of them, they always trying to give Jake money or do something for Jake. Well, my sister, out of nowhere, right? She just retired from the American Medical Association. She was with them almost 30 years. This is my oldest sister. All right, and matter of fact, we had a conversation. She said she only thinks, in all honesty, she only really got a job because she's so fair skinned. She was really light complected. She could be Puerto Rican or something. My oldest sister, and she was very fair complected, and I've seen how Esau would treat Jake like a dark skinned Jake versus a light skinned Jake. That Willie Lynchism is real, man.
This is real.
But to make the long story short, she received a $5,000 check in a bank from her ex-boss. So what's happening out of her personal funds? All right, like I heard a sister talk about how these old Idumeans on their deathbed start admitting shit and
Right.
talking about shit because they're trying to clear their conscience because they know they're going before the judgment throne. All right, and so they start talking. So basically, what she did was she sent my sister that $5,000 because 15 years ago, she blocked my sister, from a promotion that she was gonna have simply because she was Jake.
Oh.
And so she admitted, she wrote a letter and, a long letter and, admitting that she did it and she was sorry and, and that she was one of the best workers she ever had. And simply, she just didn't want to see, a Jake advance and she didn't want to see her go to the next level.
Wow.
So, and I was like, damn. And so she gave her $5,000 out of her pocket, to try to make up as some sort of restitution. But you know what? I'm like, well, good. I hope you enjoyed it and bought yourself something nice and did something. But that ain't enough because you can't buy your way out of this ass whooping you got coming.
That's right.
There's nothing you can do, man. And you can't buy. Now clearly you could buy off General Kahana and some of the heads of IUIC. And some of these other groups is now all of a sudden under 501c3 charter, but you're not buying off the true men of the Lord, man.
I got something for you. This Zephaniah 1:18. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. It says, but the whole land should be devoured in the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land.
Right. So you want to pay us with some RFNs that's failing, that's about to crash, that's worth nothing. We'll take 20 RFNs to buy something that only took 2 to buy 20 years ago.
That which proves that's not real money, because real money never gets the value.
Exactly.
That's right.
And then at this point you can't even give us gold, because if you give us gold, you're giving what's already ours.
That's right.
You stole all our gold going back thousands of years ago.
That's it.
All right.
Got a scripture. This is James 5:3. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rest of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire.
Hey, Con, it's just like the guy said in the video. What's gonna happen when the dollar crashes? What's gonna happen in 2022 when they institute these, because they tried to make all the money that they could possibly make. That's why they set this thing to go on the 3rd and the 4th. All right, because if this thing was really as bad as they say, they just would have shut everything down immediately. But you still having basketball games, football games, large gatherings. Shalom, brother, and things of that nature, man. Why? Because, well, we're not gonna get into that. We don't want to get a strike tonight.
Yeah.
Go get a chair. If you can go get a chair and then you can put it over here on this other side.
But nevertheless, man, the system is failing, man. And so all these prestigious neighborhoods in Chicago, in LA, in Philadelphia, in Connecticut, in New York, in all these prestigious neighborhoods that are in all these in these states, in these big major cities, none of them are going to be safe, man.
That's right. And the beautiful part is it's the opposite of what they've been doing for so long. For so long they lived deliciously. So long they have taken advantage of our people. For so long they've brought us down, and now the same things that they've been putting on us is about to come right back on them. This is Psalm 73 and 2. But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. For I was envious of the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there's no bands in their death, for their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men. They are not plagued like other men. And see, they've gotten so long of being at the top, not being bothered, not being able to being these the so-called untouchables. Now the Most High touching all on their ass, right? Therefore, pride compasses them about as a chain. Violence covereth them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than their hearts can wish. I'm old enough to been to over, like you said, to Bucktown, to Wicker Park, in that area. I remember going over there to see Issachar and my friends back in the day as a young Judite, going all the way over there. And I was a sore thumb out of place, but I was cool with Issachar. Now you go over there, like you said, it's nothing but Edomites everywhere. And the popos treat you like shit. The neighborhoods treat you like shit. You'd be over there delivering food or whatever, and they still going through hell and that was our area. You know what I'm saying? So now it's beautiful to see the Most High tearing down Esau and his comfortability. He's not comfortable anymore. He's walking around there, guarded and looking around and feeling like you just went in the middle of Jake Hood and just set up shop over there in Pilsen. I think about 18th Street.
Same thing in there.
Yeah.
I remember driving through Pilsen, man, when I was doing Lyft, and you saw spray painted on the garages, Whitey leave, get out of our neighborhoods. We don't want you. You know, you will see that all the time, man.
That's right.
You know?
I got one for you. This is Psalms 37. I'm going to start at 8. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil.
That's right.
That, going to us to be patient, For evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth. For yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. Yeah, thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. So it was always set up that the wicked was prosper for a moment, but at some point the Lord's going to change his status, man. And now this devil is being brought low. Oh, Lucifer, hast thou fallen from heaven? That's what's happening. And this is just the beginning, because it's going to turn into what? World War III. These nations are all going to be against this devil. These nations are all going to point their arrows towards Babylon. All right, because Esau Edom is greatly despised, man.
Yeah, especially with the evidence of all the people, all the injuries is coming from, from the Fauci ouchie. All the evidence that they're trying to suppress of all the injuries and deaths and things of that nature, man. All right, I was watching. You guys remember the chick, the Truther Girl chick, the Edomite with the big ass lips?
Right.
I was watching her channel. I hadn't seen one of her videos in a while, and it popped up in my feed. And I started watching it, and actually she mentioned in her video, and I screenshotted it. And uplifted the screenshot, put the screenshot up. But basically, she's talking about the second round of the lockdown is about to happen, and it turns out that the Canadians, the Canadians are 90% Fauci ouchie,
right?
90%, but yet the cases are skyrocketing. How is that?
That's called Idumean mathematics. You know what I'm saying? It is corrupted.
The new form of math.
Exactly. This is Sirach 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous.
New speech, new math.
New math. That's right. And everything they're saying, it don't make sense. I'm seeing so many different TikTok, Instagram videos that if you just put them up on YouTube, and our channels will be straight gone. If you look at all the statistics behind all the shit they're doing. This is Sirach 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. And I like that with the title, how the hedge is being removed from the Idumeans. From all the things that Esau's been doing to us, the Lord is removing that hedge. All right? Now their kingdom is being translated to us. We are actually watching the fall of Babylon in slow motion. All right? And I'm saying slow motion because it's actually moving very fast.
God.
But it feels like, because we're still in the trenches, it feels slow. But this is actually really moving.
Could somebody grab that Psalms 73, he is not in trouble as other men?
I got it right here. I was just reading it.
All right, but that's the... Yeah. But see, because that's the spirit, man. Because, go ahead and read it, Baba Kushal.
Psalm 73 and 5 again. They are not in trouble as other men. Neither are they plagued like other men.
Right, and so that's not being the case anymore. Because now you got Edomites going to jail for killing Jake.
Yep.
Cops going to jail for killing Jake.
Right.
Edomite women, Now, granted, their punishment is light compared to what Jake gets. But the fact that it's happening, all right?
They can't hide.
They can't, right. I'm telling you, that hedge is being removed from around them. They just can't do whatever they want to do and just get away with it anymore. All right?
Yeah, I got to preach on this on Jeremiah 49:10. But I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he should not be able to hide himself. His seed is full, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Because that Esau is being spoiled now. You can't hide, you can't do all of this. That's why they rob in their neighborhoods, robbing them like that. And taking all of their goods and everything. Because it's just time up for this devil. This devil had his good reign. He did his good terror on the planet. and now it's being taken from them. You know, it's over with.
Yeah, and he ruled with much wickedness and oppression, man. Now, he ruled with much wickedness and oppression, man.
That's
Bring
it.
it out, big guy.
The Psalms 137 and 8, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. Happy shall he be, and rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. And now Esau is finally starting to see what he has done to us, as far as like he's coming to our neighborhoods and burn down our churches, you know, burn down our buildings, burn down
Rape
our
our
fields,
women.
rape our women, you know, go in there and steal our things. And now Jake going to their neighborhoods, doing the same, taking their shit, man. You know?
Yeah. And you best believe, man. A lot of y'all wives getting ready to get stressed out like Lana Rhodes, man. By the
And that's
because that's scriptural. It's gonna happen, man.
Right,
Because when they come there, because you look, Jake, what you know, and it's funny, man. My mother used to always say, one day they're gonna learn who to turn their guns on. She used to say that all the time. One day these niggas gonna stop killing each other and learn who to turn their guns on. And eventually, that's what's beginning to happen. Because they're starting to realize, man, what profited us to go on the west side and roll up on Jake? You know, make Jake break himself, and he got less than I got.
right.
You know.
That's right.
So now they rolling up on Esau, they screaming at him to break himself. You know, and going and like he said, the guy said that burglaries and home invasions have increased, and they're going to continue to increase. And all you women. All you independent, I don't need no man, women. It's not gonna be good for you.
Oh, you single ladies? Oh, you single ladies?
Right, right, yeah, right. Put your hands up, cause they, right. You break yourself, bitch.
Hey, this is
And that's exactly what's about to happen to you.
This is Isaiah 13, and I'm just going straight to the point with what you said, 16. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. And if you go through the whole thing, you just about Isaiah 13 is what's going on right now about the collapse of America. You're going to start to see when the people run through your door. The second Esdras, the 15th chapter, second Esdras, the 16th chapter, the seditions of men, people rising up against one another. Isaiah 19, Egyptian versus Egyptian. We are now in the precipice of your fall. You're falling, all right? We're seeing the fall of Babylon right now in the face.
Yes, sir.
But like you had said, years ago, he was down on Staten Island. You had been up through them real super rich people up there. They'd already left.
They'd already left, man.
So what you got now is what used to be the rich that have been reduced to the damn middle class.
Right now, you got low level rich people that are faking the funk.
Right.
They low level people faking the funk, man.
That's right.
Living in Old Town, living on the Gold Coast.
Right.
Because the real money been gone, man.
Yep, exactly.
All right.
And see, the real money had to
the real money
influence.
bounced in 2000, 2009, 2010.
Hey,
After that crash in 2008.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the real money gone, man. The people, it's just some brother was saying it, man. Now they just can't leave.
Exactly.
The wealthy people that are here, the ones they got money, but they don't have enough money to leave
Exactly.
because they can't set up somewhere else.
That's right. See, the original rich, they were so rich that they actually had power, influence, and the protection to be there. Once they dip, these lower rich, they don't got that.
No.
They don't have a pocket, a hand. They don't have enough money to have an influence with Larry Lightfoot. You know what I'm saying?
There's levels to this shit.
You know what I'm saying? No, it's different levels though.
Yeah, because Larry Lightfoot, it's definitely in somebody's pocket.
Exactly.
Right? It's in somebody's. That thing is sold. You know.
Hideous.
I got precept.
It's paid for, bought and sold, man.
That's right.
This Psalm 18, Job 18 and 7. The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. For he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare. The gin shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. Terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet.
And that's what's happening, because now all this money for for private security because Bucktown is saying the same thing that they were saying that they want to do out in Brentwood, Santa Monica, and Beverly Hills and those areas out there. They want to buy they want to buy fully armed private security, man, which is just going to create a bunch of racial conflicts because that's definitely going to happen because you got a lot of Ephraimites that still work in Bucktown and that are salty and mad because that was their neighborhoods, man. All right, it's a few that held out, that had a little money that is still there, but the majority of them were pushed out, man. They didn't move more toward the west side. And here's the thing that's the flip side of that, and they is that what they're doing is like you had a lot of Ishmaelites that now live near Inglewood. They're all up and down Garfield and all through that area. And what's happening is Issachar and Judah over there is actually getting along.
Yep.
And the same thing happening on the west side.
Yep. Okay.
So now you got Issachar and Judah that's starting to mix and mingle, and they're gonna when the Lord raise up Judah and Judah start doing what they gonna do, the rest of the northern kingdom gonna join right in with them, man. Because they start, and you gotta remember that video. Yes, you may, brother, but there's a short clip. Matter of fact, I'll find it of a Gadite woman. Let me play this video saying how it's time for them to get together with with the Negroes.
Yeah, she gonna put it in grooming.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find it.
Cause I'll share this.
But go ahead and bring your.
This is the book of Micah, chapter 5, verse 8, and start at 7. Okay. It says, Micah chapter 5, starting at 7. The remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people, as a dew from Yahweh, as the showers upon the grass that tarrieth not for man, nor waiteth for the sons of men. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, and as a young lion among the flocks of sheep, who, if he go through, both treads down and teareth in pieces, and none can deliver. So like the elders were saying, man, Judah and Issachar finally getting their fucking heads together, and they're understanding, in this time of scarcity.
They got a common enemy. You got a common foe.
Yeah, and they're gonna come together, and they gonna really fuck these Edomites up, man. These heathens. All right, Hyde Park is open. All right, it's full of heathens, man.
Yeah, Hyde Park has no. Like the way they can raise the bridges and block off the streets to block off everything on the other side of the river on the Gold Coast.
Right.
They're not going to be able to do that. Hyde Park is just left out there.
So they walking across. They walking across the park and getting that thing.
Hyde Park is like low hanging fruit when those days come. And those days are very close. And those days are very close at hand, man.
That's right.
And there's a lot of single women in Hyde Park. Heathen women.
I love Hyde Park.
Elam, Esau, Ammon, Moab, and every castle you want to go to, the Sand Castle, the White Castle, the Rice Castle, the Curry Castle, exactly. And if you want to go to the Chocolate Factory, that's there too. So you got a lot of them so-called single women there too. All right.
We're gonna be walking around like they
so the marauders are gonna have when they coming for your wine and your food, your jewelry. They coming for your ass too, literally. All right.
It's gonna be like a bully on the beach and whatnot, just kicking all the castles down. Okay.
Go forward, little nigga.
Yeah, I got one.
Go ahead, brother.
Man. Isaiah chapter 11, verse 13. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim, but they shall fly up on the shoulders of the Philistines toward the west. They shall spoil them of the east together. They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them.
So that's a prophecy that's got to happen, man. That's right. All right. This is also how you know that the small hatters ain't the people. All right, because this hasn't happened, man. They can't. All these things happen as Israel is restored, man. So they, like you said, they like we said many a times, man. Where are the rest of the tribes when it comes to them?
Right.
Like we've all heard that madness, how somebody's tribe of someone's a Jewish from the tribe of Levi.
Right.
So how you gonna right? So I'm like, well, damn. So your mama got banged by Judah and Levi? What are you trying to say, man? You know, which one was your daddy though? Was they on Jerry Springer? What did you know? What are you trying to say?
Mixed seed.
Right.
She sounds like a dog that's been popped.
You know exactly. You know you can't be both. You got to be one or the other, man.
Ready?
Go ahead, brother.
Okay, play this real quick.
I'm just gonna say it, man. You guys gonna hate me or not hate me. I'm getting to the point where I really don't care. But indigenous communities, we need to start embracing black communities. It's time that we unify, like now. We are much stronger moving as one body. And it seems like right now there's a lot of division between indigenous peoples and black peoples, and that's just absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't need to happen. If somebody says that they're indigenous or they're claiming first to be here or whatever, it doesn't change who you are. It doesn't change who I am. But I will tell you this, I've met thousands and thousands of wonderful black people fighting for the same things that we're fighting for, and it's time we start moving as one.
And see, and that's prophesied to happen.
That's right.
Right, and what she just said is that's a mighty deal, because in this truth, you know, collectively, all the tribes seem to be involved in this at this point, and the tribe that's had the least activity has been Gad. Mm-hmm. Now there are Gadites, you know, that are definitely professing their Israelite heritage, but you know, but as far as you know, Gadites being on the highways and byways, you know and that's gonna happen. And you gotta also remember too, Gad is one of the warrior tribes, man. Mm-hmm. So when the Lord puts that and it's prophesied that Gad would get back at Esau.
Yep.
It's prophecy. Go ahead, brother. Bring it up.
Genesis 49:19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him.
And that troop was the U.S. Cavalry. Mainly, you could think about Andrew Jackson and you know his wicked ass. But his troop was a troop that finally overcame Gad, and they overcame them by very treacherous forms. They didn't just like defeat them straight out in battle. They did really crooked, underhand, cowardly shit to win. But go ahead.
But he shall overcome at the last.
Yeah, but he's gonna overcome at the last, man. So Gad. So no matter what happens to Gad, how much suffering, whatever they have to go through, we already know the ending. Gad is gonna overcome at the end, and they're gonna join back onto the rest of the brothers, man.
That's it.
I got a scripture. This is Ezekiel 37:13-20. Say unto them, thus says Lord power. Behold, I will take the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his fellows, and will put them with him, even with the stick of Judah, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand.
It can be one in his hand, man.
And the sticks whereupon thou writest shall be in thy hand before their eyes.
There you go, right before their eyes, man. When didn't Bill the Butcher close up his fist talking about the 5 points? You know? They're right. He gonna clear right. He said, I can close up my fist and the 5 points could crush you at any time, man. And that's exactly what's about to happen, man. You know? It's prophesied that Judah's gonna be a terror unto Egypt, man. And he's not gonna be alone. All right? The northern kingdom's gonna be a terror right there with them, man. That's right. And these things are prophesied to happen. There's nothing that anyone can do to stop these prophecies, man.
That's right.
Scripture.
Bring it up.
This is Isaiah 11:13. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. All right, because at first that was part of the curses that was supposed to happen. All right, so she was saying, all right, this shouldn't be. Well, no, according to the prophecies, it was going to happen.
It had to happen.
All right, but also according to the prophecies, we were going to come back, all right, and be gathered by the word of the Most High God in truth.
That's right. Ephesians 4:4. There is one body and one spirit, even as ye are called in one hope of your calling. All the righteous men, all the righteous people of Yahweh Shai will be back. What's in Sirach where it says every creature will resort to his kind. All right, the Most High is bringing back the hopeful elect together. All right, this is matter of fact. This room is a proof of Ezekiel the 37th chapter. The sticks coming together. All right, and that's why this is part of the reason why Esau queendom is falling. You have something?
Yeah, I got Ezekiel 37, but not the sticks. A little bit more down.
That's okay.
There's Ezekiel 37 and 21. It says, "And say unto them, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone."
See, now we all around the heathen. We was just up in me and the brother Zakari was up in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, and I was letting them know that there's an Indian so-called reservation right down the street, and Soaring Eagle, all right. And so we're there, and I'm pointing them out. I'm like, okay, there's a Gadite right there. There's a Gadite right there, because you went to the fucking Walmart. You can see this shit. But that's all America is just like that one small community. You got a bunch of Edomites, but then you got your Jake, then you got your Issachar, but then you got your Gadites. You know what I'm saying? And so now the Lord is bringing them, Jake, Issachar, and Gad all back together. He's bringing the northern and southern kingdoms all back together. Now, is he doing all of us together? No. The hopeful righteous elect. That's what the Most High matters. That's right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's only concerned with his elect.
He ain't worried about the Vatos and the Crips getting together.
Or Pookie on the block.
Right.
But you know what? Funny thing is though, he still may give them one last mission and use them, put the spirit on them to use them to be that punishment unto Esau.
But that's those laborers, the hands of the laborers, what they say, the wicked in Job, that are going to be at their throats. You know what I'm saying? Because they're on the left hand side are going to vex the shit out of them too. That's right.
It says, "And I will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations. Sure. Neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all." Now, if you think about it, the people that are in captivity here in America, the ones that are doing the shit jobs, the people that were destroyed when they first came and colonized, and you got to realize the colonizers, they're still making the laws. So the people that are in subjection are you so-called Negroes, which could be considered one nation, and then the other nation is the so-called Latinos, man. So straight out the Bible, man, you're getting prophecy saying that two large groups of would be considered one separate nation. They're gonna come together at the end, man. And who is that, man?
And it's better, and it's more than just two, because you throw so-called Native American Indians, you throw the Reubenites in there, the so-called Gadite, Seminole Indians, you put this, they can't stop this, bro. Yeah. And when the Most High really shows that power, this is one of the reasons why we've been scattered abroad. But when the Most High raises us up, scattered, that means we're going to be all over, raised up, coming in, tearing this whole place down. Right. Just like those worms, we was talking about those worms spread out, Benji, Saturday, under under Esau. The worm, it's spread out all over. Do you know that when we all raised up, just like if you can imagine a worm under every single building, every building's going to collapse and fall. All right?
It's real because the Lord called Jacob a worm.
Perfect. That's right, brother.
I got a scripture from Shapaya. All right, this is Zechariah chapter 9, verse 13. "When I have been Judah for me, fill the bow with Ephraim, and raise up thy sons, O Zion, against thy sons, O Greece, and made thee as the sword of a mighty man."
That's amazing, because that's a prophesied race conflict right there, man. All right, and the elders, one of the first things you learn coming into this truth is to embrace. You have to embrace the racial standpoint of the Bible. It even tells you that in the book. Who is Esau, Edom? It tells you in the beginning of the book. This book is for the people who can understand the racial aspect. Now, of course, in they try to come with that, which the people are just, I guess they're gonna come with until the Lord comes back, trying to make it two sets of white people. Like you got Edomites and then you got Japhet, and so you don't know which ones is which. Right? No, Japhet was a brown skinned race of people. They were not so called white. Everybody that was pale outside of those that are that are of another seed line are the Edomites, man.
That's it.
All right, because you got a lot of Jakes that are mixed in that look like Edomites, and other heathens also that look like Edomites, man.
Right, and you got all kind of nations looking like all kind of other nations.
Right.
So at the end of the day, like the elder was saying, this is about nations, and what the Most High did was have a progenitor of each particular nation. So wherever you go back to, all right, and a lot of people sometimes they don't know, but guess what? When the angel and the Lord and the angels come, all right, the angels everybody gonna know who they are, man.
Right.
And nobody is getting saved but those that stem from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, no matter what you look like.
Point blank, period, man. Because when you can think about it, it's a total mind fuck, man. Because if you really consider, let's say that someone is saying they're Irish. Well, if you really learn the history of Ireland, man, Ireland's been controlled by a whole bunch of different races of people. All right, the first inhabitants of that land were Japhetic. They're not there anymore.
Right.
All right. Then Jake took it over. All right. Right. Then Jake took it over. All right. And then Esau took it over. So anyone coming from there could be a mixture, could be one of any of those three.
Right.
That's why you see
right. You could be one of any of those three, yet still look like a so-called white man.
That's right.
Or you could be any one of those three and look like a so-called black man.
That's why you see.
It's all about. That's why the Lord deals with the inner and not the outer, man. And we kind of try, and that's why Esau, he's the one. These Idumeans are always the one trying to throw color into this when we speak and try to put that label of black Hebrew Israelites. Well, I look around this room, ain't nobody black in here, man.
That's right.
All I see is a bunch of different shades of brown, man.
That's it.
From light colored brown to chocolate colored brown, man.
That's
And
right.
so they're the ones that come up with that whole those social constructs of color, which are all false constructs.
Right.
And you can't identify someone by color. You have to be identified by who your forefather is.
That's it.
Point blank, period,
That's
man.
it.
I got a precept real quick. This is John 7:24. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment.
That's right.
That's it.
See, if you go to Without Sanctuary, you'll see in their so-called, of course, majority, you can see a whole bunch of so-called Negroes hanging. But then you will also see pictures of what they call Mexicans, Issachar hanging.
Yeah.
But then you also see pictures of the so-called Irish hanging.
And Sicilians,
And
too.
Sicilian, right. And
Not just regular Italians, but Sicilians. There's a
The
reason
Southern.
why.
Mm-hmm.
There was a reason for that. Because I don't, because the thing is that I don't know if people are aware of it, but if you're a Sicilian, you cannot join a white ring, white superiority group.
Wow.
True romance.
All right.
Yeah,
If you are Khan, that movie lets you know that. But Khan, that was an excellent statement there, brother. Because that in that movie True Romance, they kind of touch on that history.
Yep.
But if you are Sicilian, you can't be a part of the clan. You can't be a part of the skinheads. Or any Aryan, you can't. And why do you think that is? Now you got Sicilians that look like straight up white people.
Mm-hmm.
But why is it that the Sicilian can't be a part of them?
That's right.
Because they know, right. So it's all about seed. It's about bloodline, man. It ain't got nothing to do with color, man.
That's it.
What's the last Sicilian president of the United States?
When was the first Sicilian president? Exactly.
But yeah, throughout the scriptures, it talks about, the nations, the seed that you stem from. Because there is one seed that is the children of promise. All right, there is one seed that is the wicked nation of people, which is Esau, Edom. All right, and now, which nobody wanted to be Esau, Edom. Right,
They duck and dodge, and that's like hot potato.
Right.
Tell somebody.
Hey,
I know, hey.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly. See, but through the spirit and power, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, it's being exposed because it was a mystery. All right, it says that it was a mystery, but now it's being exposed through the spirit and power, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and the spirit being rested upon his men. All right, that he's risen up. All right, and we're letting it be known. All right, because we're in the last days to where everything, all the truth, has to come to the top, man. The truth always rise to the top. Yep.
I got scripture for you.
Yes, sir.
This is Revelation 11. I'm going to start at about 9. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead body 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves, and they shall dwell upon the earth, shall rejoice over them.
There was a lot of money that was funded to keep us away from our nationality.
Con.
Oh, you got it, bro.
And make merry and shall sing gifts one to another.
Right, an example, brother. You know, the elder Uriah brought up that book, Without Sanctuary. They showed you the postcards. You know, they would send one to another. You know those lynchings.
Yep.
But also, we was a part of those gifts too.
Yep.
You know, the slave trade.
Because these two prophets tormented them that dwelt on the earth, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of Yahweh entered unto them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them.
Right, because those that's ruling right now is fearful because they know their time is up. Because like the elder Kazak said, they spent all this money to hide this. And so it's just like, wait a minute, how are these guys?
They said that.
That's how they jumped out the liver.
Oh, right, in New York. Right, yeah.
They were mad too. I wish I had that video, because you can see. It's sometimes you watch something, you can see something, you know, whatever. But then sometimes you see something, the passion or the intensity of the intention of whatever the person say, it rings so loud. What? Who taught you this? We spent thousands, millions of dollars to hide this. I mean, he was really perplexed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, because you know, but the problem is that in their arrogance, you know, in the 17th, 16th, 17th, 18th century, the 19th century, earlier part of the 19th century, you know, they wrote tons of books with all this information, basically, you know,
trying to hide it.
You know, I mean, they weren't even trying to hide it, because in their arrogance, they just assumed that you would always be a dumbass nigga, a dumbass spick, and you would never learn how to read.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
They never saw you. They didn't see you. They couldn't see you being an auto mechanic. They couldn't see you being a contractor. They couldn't see you being a doctor or a dentist or a PhD. They couldn't see you do. They may have been able to see you, you know, running up and down the court. They could, you know, they could see you being a wrestler or a boxer or something like that. But you know, but being is something that where you actually use. They never thought they with intellect. They never thought they, you know, there was a time where they just, because they were sold on the false doctrines and narratives of white superiority.
That's it.
Even though they were sold on the falseness of Darwinism and all that false science that some people still prescribe to this day. They were sold on that bullshit. So all of a sudden you could open up a book and read, you know, and read something and say, well, you know, or open up the Bible and it says that their skin was black upon them, or their visage was darker than the coal, you know, and it's like, wait a minute, who's this talking about? It's talking about the Jews, you know.
Can I hit this real quick?
Absolutely.
You got it back, Pop. Psalms 2:1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us.
And see, one of their bands and those cords that were broken, that was casted away, was white academia. All right, and that's what's happening with a lot of so-called white people. I saw a video where the white girl said, you know, she was talking about how she started learning history about things that she hadn't learned about, and found out that this history was real, and now she has a new outlook on life. And then she even quoted what is it, Revelation 4:3, if I'm mistaken, the script. As a matter of fact, I remember Kazak did a lesson on it some years ago about the precious stones, and they talked about how the Lord had the image. Him that sat on the throne was like him of a sardine, the sardine stone, or the jasper and the sardine stone. When you look those up, those are ruddy brown. You know, they're like reddish brown, dark. Also proving that Newspeak, that they tried to make ruddy have something to do with being pale and rosy. And absolutely nothing. That's Newspeak. That's a lie. Exactly. It had nothing to do with it. Ruddy meant it meant you were either young, youthful looking, or it was talking about those brownish tones with the red in it, man. That's right. All right.
May I make a point too?
Absolutely.
And they raged and they imagined a vain thing, these heathen, because they are carnal people. All right, Esau, Edom being the base, the most carnal. All right, and this thing is spiritually discerned, man. All right, to understand this Bible, is you gotta be you gotta be spiritual. So even of our own people that don't get it and don't understand it, because they're leaning more towards flesh and carnality as opposed to the spirit, man. All right, go ahead.
Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision. So Esau thought they can just, like I said in Psalms 83, hide the name of Israel from us, we just become niggas.
Right.
All right, they cast us away, we just be in the hoods forever.
Right.
All right, but the Lord laughed at him, and now we're seeing what? Baruch 4 being fulfilled, man. We're being gathered by His word.
That's right.
And these heathens are fearing. They see that, man. They seen the Lord, great army come back.
Right.
Like that Ezekiel 37.
They're like, damn, we just like the elder said, they was like, oh, they couldn't see us being, these great minds, all right, because we were brought low, and that's a spiritual thing because the Most High did that.
And not only that, man, these Idumeans are the only people I know that will set up a sporting event. All right,
that's right,
and then. Make the sporting event to where they're going to win, and take away all your tools that you need for you to train and prepare to win.
Right.
I already know the outcome. Know that they're going to win, and I'm speaking hypothetically. All right, and then turn around and scoff you for not winning.
Right.
For being or they'll take what I was talking about yesterday. We on the line. They'll order you to build something. All right, or the contest is to build something. So you look over and all the Idumeans, they got hammers and they got screwdrivers and all the different tools they need, ladders and things, and then they give Jake absolutely nothing. They got power tools on top of that, right? And then they give Jake nothing, and then they scoff because they build their house bigger, better, and faster than you did when they gave you, and then scoff as if they're so much greater and so much better than you, and why you so low. And this is the type, like you said there, and don't want to acknowledge that I was given all the advantages and everything, and they're not going to speak in that matter. They're just going to say, well, I was able to do this and you couldn't. What's wrong with you? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And they really have that mentality. When you have a system that's completely set up to support you and people that look like you, all right, and deal treacherously with people that don't look like you. I don't, these people are amazing, man.
I was gonna say when we did pull ourselves up by the bootstraps,
they destroyed it.
Exactly.
Every time.
Like Wall Street.
And that's just one of many, man.
Like what the fuck?
And all the times too, all the times too that are underwater right now, man.
That's right.
All throughout the United States, there's a bunch of towns that are underwater. Because
Lakes.
It was Jake, so-called Negroes,
and they flooded
they
it
were
out.
being prosperous, man.
And they flooded it out intentionally to stop them in their wealth, not because they was impinging on their wealth, because they had wealth and they started having power. Just like over there in North Carolina, the South Carolina area, back in the day, they had got elected so-called righteously, whatever, according to their system, and all because Jake was there, and Jake kept putting Jake in office, and they'll say, well, we put all these guys in office, they in Congress, and they changing shit. Okay, you know what, we need to change all this shit. And then they went into a whole big campaign, fucked all that shit, and now you see how many so-called black representatives came out of there for hundreds of years. They stopped that shit and totally
the miscegenation laws. That says it. When you learned about the miscegenation laws, when they set those laws up, man, it basically Jake was doing well in the earlier part of America, in colonial America. Matter of fact, Jake was doing so well that the Idumean women that were coming over from Ireland, from Scotland, from England were choosing to marry and be with Gad and Judah. All right, they weren't choosing to be with the with the pale males. So the pale males created whiteness, and then they created these miscegenation laws, which basically elevated them. So the women out of necessity of survival began to choose them, right? Because if you was Jake, you couldn't open a bank account, you couldn't own a firearm, you couldn't own property. All right. If you had children, these pale women, if they were married unto you, the children were slaves up until their 21st birthday. They did all these things, and then if you married one of these Jakes, you inherited their condition in society.
That's it.
So they created, but prior to those laws, Jake was doing well, just as well as them. It's not better.
That's it.
All right.
That's a lot.
You know.
I
Go ahead,
believe
brother.
In 1899 or early 1900, it was a hurricane that hit Ephraim, Puerto Rico, and Ephraim had their own economy and stuff. And Esau, instead of coming to Puerto Rico aid, they just let it destroy. Right, because they didn't want a bunch of spicks that had that much power.
No, so they could come over and have their way.
Right.
Because now I'm gonna build a bank, I'm gonna build a school, and now you're in debt to me.
Yeah.
That's it.
And by the way,
by
the way, I'm gonna have my way with your wife or your daughter
That's
too.
it. That's it.
While we're at it.
That's it.
You know?
Just imagine Ephraim, that hurricane never hit Ephraim, and then you had Tulsa, Oklahoma, then you had the other financial districts. That's a powerful force, man.
We had Black Wall Street here in Chicago. We had a Black Brown Belt here.
It was called the Black Belt, which equaled Black Wall Street, if not was greater. And there was a whole matter of fact. And they said the greatest ones were the ones down in the Carolinas, and they destroyed all of those. They said the ones in the Carolinas eclipsed the one here in Chicago and the one in Tulsa. And they completely, you didn't know that?
I did not.
Yeah, the ones down in the Carolinas eclipsed those.
That's what we're just talking about.
So,
They
they completely annihilated them, and then, like you said, and then they flooded them out, a lot of these neighborhoods and these areas. And then they built houses around the flooded area, created man-made lakes, and now they're water skiing and doing tubing with their little white kids across right over the top of where Jake used to live.
Though Edomites dying it's in Georgia when they put that lake, artificial lake above Jake houses.
Yeah.
They getting pulled in the water. They mysterious getting pushed in the water, drowning and stuff, man.
Yeah, well, hey, spirits be created for vengeance.
OG, she talked about the Black Belt. She remembers she was a little girl when they destroyed that and built that Dan Ryan Expressway.
They built the Dan Ryan Expressway purposely to divide the Black Belt. And then they set the gangs up differently too, because most of the folks was on the other side of on the west side of the Dan Ryan, and then on the east side of the Dan Ryan they had all the peoples.
Yeah.
So they did everything in their power to make sure that the conflict and they would never come together ever again like that.
And then they also put in the foreigners all in our neighborhoods, because even when I was young, we still had a whole lot of mom and pop black shops. But then they started putting in the Greeks, putting in the East Indians, put the Arabs and everybody else. In the 80s,
in the 70s and 80s.
Brother. In the 70s, we still had a whole lot of mom and pops, but ever since then it's been falling. In the 80s, it was prevalent. They gave them incentives. They actually gave them money to go and set up shop. They gave them benefits.
There was a lot of businesses on 63rd Street when I was a kid. When I was a little kid. It was like you remember that little strip area that was in over in Inglewood.
Yeah, from Halsted all the way down to Ashland.
And guess what? It was like that from King Drive all the way to Stony Island.
Yeah, sure was.
It's for those of you, because I'm old enough to remember that. I was a little kid.
And because the L was right there.
Then
the
train went all the way to Stony back then. All right, so picture that. So that whole little area
was
in Inglewood. It was the same way from King Drive all the way to Stony Island, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Stores and shops, and a lot of them were owned by Jake. And they destroyed and got rid of all of that.
All that, especially on the other side of it too. What you talking about, the other expressway? Because you remember, Ozzy people had that spot over off of 63rd and Halsted, and that whole all that strip. You can go down to from Halsted to Ashland and past. It was nothing but Jake, shop. It was different malls, little strip malls and everything. If you go to Roseland over here, Roseland, niggas didn't have to go all the way downtown to go shop to get good stuff. They went over to Roseland from 111th all the way up to 115th to 117th, and I mean pack. They went and threw all our shit, took all Jake out.
They destroyed all that, man.
And they put and all this. They set up every single other heathen up in there. I mean, all kind of heathen, from the Koreans to the Arabs to the everything. Go ahead,
I appreciate for you, because now Esau, you losing your shit, man. It's Sirach 21. And, he that buildeth his house with other men's money is like one that gathers himself stones for the tomb of his burial. the congregation of the wicked is like tow wrapped together, and the end of them is a flame of fire to destroy them. So now that's what you're gonna get, man. You robbed us. You put even when we did well in your system according to your rules, you robbed us again, fucked us over. All right, and now it's your time to pay, man. Hey, when you watch that show on Amazon, it's called Them, right? And they was going into how the banks was getting niggas to move into these white areas. And the one lady did the math because she was like, well, really, they raise the property value. Because when niggas get shit, they take care of it, really, man. All right, like this little block here, this is a block club. They don't let you do, you got to keep the grass a certain way. Your bushes can't be too high. That's how Jake get. But the banks was doing that shit, raising the interest rate on niggas so they can get them out too. They wanted the crackers to move out, then the niggas to move in and to be put into poverty, man. Instead of letting the rate be low and Jake can maintain their house and keep things good, man. And they robbed us over and over and over, man. They give you, you want a house? Go ahead. Just the interest rate. Rob you, take that from you, man.
Yeah.
They was paying the sheriff to keep the crackers cool so niggas can get the property so they can get the Edomites out and then make the niggas go into default, basically.
Yeah, keep flipping it. Keep
flipping it.
Take the same house and flip it.
And that's how they create, ghettos. Ghettos just don't spring up; they're created.
Oh, that was in Compton.
Because you had something what had happened here in Chicago and every major city, and they called it. That was the '70s white flight because in the '70s, you still had a lot of white people that lived in these neighborhoods in the early part of the '70s, and they started basically what they were really doing is they were trying to move their daughters away from Jake. That's what it really comes down to. But also so that the banks can pull those moves.
Yeah, that's why they put like you little suburbs like Oakland, all that used to be like forested farmlands, but Esau built on that to get away from Jake pretty much. That's why Jake was moving in.
That was that white flight in the 70s.
That's that white flight.
They called it white flight. And now they moved out to Hinsdale and all out in the burbs and all that stuff. And now they're trying to move back into the cities.
They want to travel so damn far.
And all their parents own property and leaving them property and dying off, and then the young ones are coming back. Oh, we're cool with black people. I got black friends. I got Spanish friends. They moving back to the city. But what they really doing is they don't understand, man, is that the Lord is really setting them up for the okie doke, man. When everything goes bad, man. When Jake gonna be upon them like the dew on the grass, man. That's gonna happen, man. Right. It's just like when that crash came, all along Lakeshore Drive, they were doing all these rejuvenations and building up all these buildings and condoing out all these old apartment buildings and things like that. And then you had a lot of Edomites starting to move in, but then the crash came,
froze all that,
and it kind of froze it, and some of them bailed out, and then some of them just got stuck over there.
Exactly.
And now the flip side of that is that with the economy being so bad, a lot of them moved along the south end of the lakefront because they realized it's cheaper than being up north. Yeah. So a lot of them, you got a lot of Idumeans that are now moved past 71st into the 70s and the 80s, all along the lakefront and stuff like that. They've moved. A lot of them are over there now. But like I said, it's just the okie doke because that the Lord put that on them, man. Because the dark times, the dark winter is coming.
That's it.
And this whole the reset. And all these things that are happening, they're not gonna the ball's not gonna fall in New York. You got the
perfect.
Now they're advertising on TV the thing to put under your skin for the Fauci ouchie. That's it. So they know the status of who has the Fauci ouchie and who doesn't.
To prove this
and which and then that's gonna get connected to not only your medical but your financial and everything else. And so all this is about to go down at the same time. You got racial division, you got poverty, you got famine, you got class division, and you also have the nations setting themselves up for war.
That's right.
All right, they're actually in conflict already.
Yeah, don't forget the nations.
They're actually bullets flying and things happening between major powers, man. This shit ain't.
Yeah. Iran.
Russia and Iran talking big shit, slap.
Iran just did a major missile simulation launch, and when they did it, You would have thought that it was World War III, the way they opened up their silos.
And they put up a map and showed you all the targets of the places that would be destroyed. I saw that. And they showed you basically all of Canaan being annihilated by Iranian missiles. And guess what? They had no, and everything was in red dots. And the only place that didn't have red dots was Palestine. So right.
That's right. We're doing it.
But all those other places that were where those Idumeans dwell had red dots on them, including the Saudis, because the Ishmael understands that the Saudis is not with the rest of them. You know that the new Saudis is down with those small hatters, man. Because the royal family are the small hatters. They're the same thing. All right, the Saudi hit, not the Saudi population, but their royal family, man. They're small hatters, man.
Well, they showed that in that several movies. One of them was the 18, where they had one of the generals, which was a so-called Edomite. But then when he went and stole the plates and shit and do what he was doing, he was disguised as a Saudi, and they didn't even know that was him until they popped him off later on. So a lot of these bloodlines, a lot of these things. See, what they show you in front is just a show, is a ruse. What goes on behind the scenes is a whole nother story. And unless you know the scriptures and unless you really watch, you ain't gonna know shit. That's the reason why they got everybody fooled, man. Right. But the Most High is tearing all that shit down. Like you said, with the whole Iranian, the shit when they're doing their testing. You go over there in Ukraine versus Russia, they have their issues. You go to South and North Korea, they got their issues. You go to China and the South Seas, America. There's so much tension and so much. This is a powder keg waiting to happen. One event, one smooth thing is going to put those hooks into Russia. We are everything. The world stage of Armageddon is already set. All the players the dividing lines are already divided, and we are really knocking on the door.
Yeah, that Ukraine issue is worse than the Cuban Missile Crisis, because Russia is like, you're not going to put me in a position where I've got somewhere between 3 and 7 minutes before you can actually touch down here with a nuclear capability. It's not going to happen. Well, I'll take first strike first.
Well, that also shows you too that you know that these Idumeans are them that never keep it at home. That's talking about them. Because if you were at home, if you were at home over here, you wouldn't have to worry about the Russians firing anything at you or doing anything to you if you weren't all in the middle of everybody else's shit.
Exactly.
So you didn't went over there, forced everybody to use your currency, and then you took the backbone of that currency away, you took the gold and the silver standard away from it, and then you made everybody else go in debt, because the problem is that every time America prints money, it devalues the dollar, but it makes these other nations, it hits them even worse. And so basically what's happening is that the nations are quite simply tired of you. And then once the nations figure out too that they've been lied to, they've been bamboozled over the Fauci ouchie and all the other stuff. Every hand of the wicked is gonna be on your ass.
This is 2 Ezra 15 and 20. It says, "Behold, saith the Most High, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and livingness, to turn themselves one against another, and repay the things that they have done to them. Like as they do yet to this day unto my chosen, so will I do also in recompense in their bosom.
That's right.
Thus saith the Most High."
That's right. You got it coming, Esau. You got it coming. You earned the ass whooping that is coming to you.
And that's all the kings of the earth. Everybody.
That's all of them.
You know who has not had a hand in our downfall? Very roughly paraphrasing. So you know what I'm saying. So everybody's about to get it, man. You know, pursuing back to 2 Ezra, the 13th chapter. All right, Yahweh Shai is going to return back, and he's going to smoke everybody, because you're all going to be against each other, but then you're all going to try to come together against and fight the Lord, man. So, this is just the ultimate chess game being played out before us, man.
Exactly.
I have a precept real quick. It's Deuteronomy 32 and 35. To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time. For the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them make haste.
That's it.
Could you read that again, Baba Kushar?
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 35. To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time.
See, just because judgment isn't executed speedily amongst the wicked, their hearts are fully setting them to do wicked and do evilness, man. But the Lord said they're going to slide in due time. Everything's going to happen all in due time.
That's right.
That's the reason why now we are now seeing the translations from one kingdom to another. Now we're starting to see Esau actually starting to hurt. The heathen starting to hurt. Their system starting to fall.
They're panicking.
That's it.
Because what they're saying is that we're not going to be able to survive another lockdown.
That's it.
And we're headed into another lockdown.
That's it.
And they're not going to. And they're not. And they already know, because I'm going to tell you right now, all these businesses that are in compliance with these mandates, for to only allow people that's been Fauci-ouchied into their establishments. All those places are gonna fail miserably, man. They're getting ready to lose a huge amount of revenue. All right, they're getting ready to lose a huge amount of revenue.
Also, even the cities and states that's enforcing these things, on the comment board when Lori Lightfoot did that interview, there was a comment that stood out. The person said, "We usually come visit Chicago once a year, but now we're gonna cancel our holiday plans to come there because of this." And that's taken away from travel. Cities like Chicago, New York, LA.
Which shows you that this is an agenda. Because anyone in their right mind, business minded, would never do that.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Well, also, it's the spirit of prophecy. It's Isaiah the 19th chapter. It says, "Egypt shall err in every word, as a man that stumbleth in his own vomit." They can't get right. They wisdom is destroyed. They fucking themselves up.
That's some out of teaming. That's right.
Yeah, they tweaking, man. They fucking up their own money. Boy.
See, that's a beautiful thing, because the very knowledge of wickedness, what this is, timorous. It's timorous. You cannot be. The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. Yeah. All right. So all that shit you're doing is stupid as fuck.
Yeah, it is. Right. And Chicago is one of the major tourist destinations in the whole world, man. It's high up there. Chicago is very high up there for tourist destinations. You got people, Chicago. New York, Chicago, LA. Those are three, and those are three of the most highly sought after places in the world for people to go to.
Yep.
And so they basically. They're damaging themselves, man.
It's funny you say that. When I was doing Lyft and Uber back in the day, I would get so many people from the airport and from Italy, from Europe, from this place and that, and they'll come. And I knew that Chicago had this little mystique, but I didn't know how big of a tourist, that people, how we said, like, we're gonna go to the Bahamas. Oh, we're gonna go to Aruba. We're gonna go over to France and go see Paris. Motherfuckers be like, "Hey, we about to come to Chicago." We don't see that because we here. But that was millions of people. Now, even with, I was just listening to a report earlier about the ball drop in New York, and then how when they said they're not going to do the Wap the Bam.
And so that's all those bars. Yes. All those people who comply.
Yes.
So all those bars and clubs. You got to think too, man. Chicago's the house capital of the world, man. And you got a lot of Europeans that are like, house is huge in Europe, man. Yeah. It's huge in Africa. Matter of fact, some of the best houses come out of South Africa right now.
Wow.
And these people, they would want to come over and go to all the clubs and have that Chicago club experience. And
that's right.
That's all dead, man. So the money is done and it's gone,
tax
man.
money gone. Then also they finally bring casinos to the city of Chicago.
Right.
And you can't even fucking go.
Right. Out all these years, you know how much revenue they fucked up? Because all niggas do was go where? To Indiana. The stupid bastards, and give Indiana all the fucking money.
And they going back to that when they said that. As soon as they said that about Illinois and the governor and putting all these things in place, Indiana said we ain't doing none of that shit.
Yeah.
So if you're a police officer and they tell you got to take that, come on over here.
Yeah. A lot of Wisconsin as well. Yeah. Wisconsin has been telling it, and Wisconsin and Indiana has been telling the law enforcement agents, come on over to our states. We'll take you.
Like Jamaica. Come on.
Somebody bring what you got, brother. Somebody grab Isaiah 24th chapter, and we're gonna start at about verse 3 and read on down to like 11 and 12. And then we gonna
Isaiah 24 and 3.
Yeah, but I think he holds something.
Yeah, this Lamentations on 4 and 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and make thyself naked. Because now it's your time to fall. You know, this cup is being passed into you now.
You know, in the first chapter of the same book, hey, Jeremiah said what he said. Bring it. I look for today that they be like unto me. You know,
Like
he said
me.
at home. The sword is out, away is bereavement, and now Esau was going through that. Now the sword is in their neighborhood. Now they're bereaving, man. Welcome to our world, bitch. And now you're going
and they ain't built for it.
The punishment of thy iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away unto captivity. He will visit thy iniquities, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. Man, and, hey, we ain't about to be going to slavery and getting put under your hands no more. It's time for you to get it. And now the Lord has discovered your sins. Now you being exposed over the whole world. Everybody know you the devil. So that's why everybody's trying to put hands on you now. And you scrabbing under the fence, don't know what to do. You trying to hand out money to anybody, do this, do that. It's not going to work.
The poor well, man.
Hey, what they say is like you sitting at a card table and everybody will expose your cards. You've been cheating the whole motherfucking time.
Yeah.
Everybody up gats on your own.
You know what's happened? The invention of circuit TV.
Right.
So now you got the you know now they broadcast and got the cameras showing you cheating.
Yeah, right.
And then people are looking up at the screen. You know, and now you look up and everybody looking at you. You know, that's evil.
Exactly.
You know.
Ricochet.
These been reneging this shit, y'all.
The whole time.
Yeah, you sitting there talking shit, breaking them in, script, right? And then they do the replay and show where you was cheating, man. Hey, but bring out that scripture that Shapaya had, brother. Then I'm gonna have you read that.
All right, this is by the brother Shapaya, Lamentations chapter 1 verse 22. Let all the wickedness come before thee, and do unto them as thou hast done unto me. For all my transgressions, for my sighs are many, and my heart is faint.
And see, and so the Lord is all about revenge, man. That's it. And you try to make it that, you know, all this forgive and turn the cheek, love thy neighbor. Thy neighbor's talking about another Israelite, man.
Period.
You turn your other cheek to another Israelite. That's not talking about you heathen nations. Right. You know, every movie that when when you've seen someone suffering and get mistreated, and they finally get to get back at the person who caused them that, you're cheering for that person. Right. And it's okay for everybody in all races and all people to get that, except for the Israelites. Come on, bro. Right. So anytime, So now Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, to start to get their revenge on the people who have suppressed and oppressed them. Now all of a sudden, oh man, y'all racist. No, so it was okay. It was okay for you to get your revenge, all right? Because nobody ever talk stuff about the small hatters over the Germans. All right. No. You know, it's okay for them.
Matter of fact, they're still trying.
And then they still trying to.
They're trying to find German
extract revenge on these people in different. Matter of fact, they even set up laws to where they can even talk about issues that happened in the past because the math don't add up and a lot of things are suspicious. Right. But nevertheless, that's another thing. But nevertheless, they pass laws where you can't even talk about that stuff, man.
It. You anti this and anti
you become an anti every damn thing.
The Anti-Defamation League, which funny enough was founded off of Edomite who raped let me slow it down, a Malachite who raped an Edomite little girl and killed her and then blamed it on his slave. That's how the Anti-Defamation League started.
Wow.
Look it up. The accuser of our brethren, man.
Yeah.
There you go, with them damn small hatters.
There you go.
Show the temple curl, motherfucker.
Hey, but it's beautiful because we're seeing that translation. We're seeing those hedges being removed. We're seeing that city that was untouched. That virgin daughter is not a virgin no more. Yeah. Right? The Messiah starting to touch and feel all on America's ass.
That's it. And he found out that she an old burnt out bitch. He like,
but you know what? The commanders of the armies are still gonna let their troops run through it though.
Anyway.
You ready? Yes, sir.
You got something? Bring it out now, bro.
This is Isaiah 33:1. Most of thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee, when thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled.
Mm-hmm.
And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee.
Yeah, and that's just so entreating. Trying to entreat the poor well is not going to help you, man.
That's
All right, there's nothing you can pay back. All right, you've already spilled blood, and the scripture clearly says that the only way that blood can be cleansed is by the blood of them that shed it, man.
Yeah.
That's
the
scripture.
part they're trying to get around.
That's your last job. You saw you did your job. You chopped down all the trees, like it says in Isaiah 10. You've been that axe to heal the trees. And now what's left for you is to be put to death, man.
Shed
Now
your
it's
blood.
time for the stout heart of the king of Assyria to be punished. Now you're going to get dealt with treacherously. Now you're going to be spoiled, man.
Unmercifully.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and you're gonna have and on top of that, you're gonna go into the most brutal, inhumane slavery that the world has ever seen. Right, and what we went through was complete hell. And it's gonna look like a vacation to Disney World compared to what you're about to go through.
Man,
but bring out that Isaiah. We gonna
Isaiah 24:3. The land shall be utterly empty and utterly spoiled, for the Lord has spoken this word.
So it's gonna be nothing left here in America, man. And you can begin to see that now by how empty a lot of the shelves are.
Hey,
and
we
continuing to be.
Hey,
Right?
we went to the grocery shop a little bit earlier to get a couple of items, and I matter of fact for about 5 or 6 bags and some water, $150.
Yeah, that
Right?
sounds about right.
Damn.
I remember my
playing.
mother
This shit's
when we were little, man. My mother would go to the store, spend $200, and we'd have two and a half carts worth of food.
Right.
All right, and she had that freezer in the basement, so she would fill up the freezer, and then we would be good for a period of time.
Exactly.
So but that's not the case today.
No.
Man.
We were in the produce section. We first started off. I went to go get some green bell peppers. They had not one green bell pepper, but you know what they had? Some yellows and reds and whatever. Guess what they did? They spread them out even in one by one in a row.
Wow.
So make it seem like the whole bell section was split, but it was one. Back in the day, or shit, normally,
They
it
were
was
on top of each
all
other.
on top of it, just packed to the back. You got the green, you got the red, you got the bar, all out the brim. They said, well, let's just spread this out.
Yeah, making it look good.
How many aisles
Because
did
you
we
know
go
what
to?
too?
And they did the same thing.
A lot because
They
of
did
the
slide
deliveries
out.
are so slow and coming so far in between. What's happening is a lot of these food are perishing,
That's it.
and they're showing up to the stores rotten and
We-
no good.
that's not even what
I
this-
bought brand new fruit and lift it up and look under. When you buy fruit in the plastic
Yes.
container berries, always lift it up
Yeah,
and
right,
look at
see
the
the
bottom
bottom.
because they're
mold.
a lot of them are molding already before it's still sitting on the shelf.
The Persimmons, the brother Shemai who worked there, he happened to. We was actually looking for him because he was supposed to be there on time. He wasn't, and so we was like, "Oh, we scoffing in our mind, whatever. We talking shit." He popped us off, and then we over there right by the Persimmons. And I said, "Oh, persimmons," because most people don't know persimmons, and I had persimmons. They're very good. And I touch them, and I'm like, this motherfucker was like the Pillsbury Doughboy, like, woo-hoo-hoo. I said, oh shit. I started touching the other ones when he came because he worked there. I was like, hey man, have this is overripe. These ready to be gone. He started touching me. He said, hell yeah. He said, they don't let us throw them out. They don't keep them here until they damn near rotted. Then somebody gonna buy that shit until it's walking damn near out of there. We was in the meat department, and first of all, everything was decimated. Like, it was hardly meat out of the 100% where you can have the beef and shit. It was 20%, and that's not an exaggeration. And then some of that looked like it was graying to the point where, why would you even have this to sell it? This don't even look edible.
Yeah.
This shit is getting horribly bad, and just because they give you the smoke and mirrors, Jake is dumb, and most people are dumb and they don't see it.
Well, the bread and circus, man.
Yeah.
You know,
That's what
they
it is, yeah.
commercials. You know, the LeBron, the fights, the boxing.
Right.
Now they putting boxers against MMA fighters and kickboxers
Right.
against wrestlers and all. And, you know,
Jake Paul.
just right. You know, you got guys that have no business being in the ring with you know. How is one guy in one sport? How you gonna have a tennis player, a basketball player go fight a boxer?
Come on, bro.
You know,
Nate
or
Robinson
a boxer go try to run a race against a damn Olympic sprinter. This shit is ridiculous,
It's
man.
stupid. And
All right.
even in the liquor session, they used to have the things stacked up to the top like full of liquor. Now they got it like lined up real
Truncated.
small.
And they moved it over.
Moved it
A
over,
big
make
ass
it look
space
like-
gap is there where it used to be because we go there all the time. We know what the fuck we talking about. It did, the whole little spot had all these specials and all this other shit, all that gone. It's just like, They just truncated everything. Everything is getting pushed and
It's
spread
open.
out.
It's open.
Come on, brother. Get back to that scripture, brother.
Isaiah 24:4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth, and that's
So the haughty people of the earth are languishing, man. They're suffering.
Yes.
All right, and they're not being as haughty and as proud anymore. Read.
The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant.
Right. So if you think that God is blessing Babylon, man, we live in a place that upholds things that are abominations in the Bible, man.
Well, yeah.
Right.
One law, just off top, when it talks about the whoredoms, it says, "Give not your daughter of the whoredoms, lest the land be turned to wickedness." And whoredoms is promoted here. OnlyFans, that's praise. You see TikTok women shake their ass. If you go comment, say, "Damn, handsome class," you get niggas scoffing you. Like, damn, this what y'all like? Y'all like these hoes?
Yeah,
Y'all
I mean,
don't want some classy bitches?
You turn on Matter of fact, TikTok has invaded YouTube. You got whole little lines of TikTok on YouTube, and they're like 10, 15, 20-second little bits. And every woman on there is clapping their breasts or clapping their cheeks or doing some dumbass challenge.
In circles.
Yeah, man, or doing some dumbass challenge.
Flat booty bitch. Shake your ass, shake their titties.
You know, right? So just doing something just folly, man, and it's just non-stop, man.
But they take
all
that
right?
shit down.
But go ahead, brother, continue.
Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left.
Yeah, so the whole earth is in mourning and becoming desolate over these decrees and and all this wickedness that's going on. Read.
The new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry-hearted do sigh.
And it's just like Benji said. He quoted Isaiah 19th, man. There's wisdom is completely gone from these people. Everything, they can't do anything right. Every decree and judgment that they makes puts them further in the hole. Is more damage to themselves. Read.
The mirth of tabrets ceaseth. And we see that everywhere here. And I mean, the matter of fact, this whole vibration of shoot him out there. Shoot him out of there. The whole Jay, go upstairs. This whole vibe we was talking about downtown. Just the whole, they put sod over damn near all the little areas where they had the little Christmas crap and the music playing downtown where we used to preach at.
Yeah.
You have sod, just grass in there now.
No music.
No music. And then and they have one full of grass, and then the other one in the middle of it, they'll put a little light, shiny stuff, and the other one, they put sod over that shit. That's where they have their flowers, and you put those little half sticks where they cut off with all the frills, and they will go all out. Now they have sod.
Yes. Hey, meanwhile,
what the fuck?
Meanwhile, all
Get out of here.
Meanwhile, all this is happening, right? These women are getting their ass whooped by men in sports. Hey, you wanted this liberation, you wanted confusion. Now you got to get choked up by Billy Bob, man. Right. With a mullet on and lipstick, man.
Get right, right. Yeah. With some 4-ounce MMA gloves and some fake titties. All right. Yeah, but you, like you said, women were the main supporters of all that alphabet madness, and now it's coming back to bite them in their ass. They losing and all and then now they're mad and complaining about it. Yeah. They can't outrun these guys. They can't outfight them. They can't outswim them. They can't outlift them.
They can't do nothing.
They can't. Right. These dudes are, slamming on you,
breaking
spiking
records,
on you, breaking all your records. But you were the main supporters of that.
You want to be equal. You want to be equal, right?
And like the brothers say, you getting equal rights and lefts now, right? Go ahead, brother.
The mirth of the tabrets ceaseth. The noise of them that rejoice endeth. The joy of the harp ceaseth. They shall not drink wine with a song.
So the club scene is really dying, man. There's very few places, and it's getting ready to get even worse.
That's right. Now if you ain't got a stab, you can't go in anyway.
Right. You don't have the ouchie.
You got the Fauci ouchie. The strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in.
It said the strong drink is bitter to them. You can't even enjoy the time that you do have, man. You hang with your friends, you drinking, now they just violent. They drink and turn to violence, man. Ain't no more white girl wasted where they just drunk, laugh, and go piss in the alley. It's violence out there, man.
Con. You know, one of the brothers is a bouncer, and you know this. And this, you know, I'm having flashbacks listening to his stories, man. It's like every other week, you know, Edom is getting smashed.
That's it.
All right,
That was wonderful story,
you know, Edom is getting smashed, man. So it ain't looking good, man.
No,
It ain't. It's looking good to us.
Right.
We're happy about this. You know, the way this place is falling, man. It can't fall fast enough.
That's right.
But it's falling, man. And you know, and Yahweh Ratazah. You know, it looks like 2022 could be the year where it goes all the way. All right, it can mean everything could happen. This year it could, and Yahweh Ratazah does.
That's right.
Hey, so with that, you know, anybody got any last scripture?
One last verse. There's a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone.
Yeah, because people want it to be the way it used to be.
I know. It's in my head.
Let's go. We started singing at the same time.
It was in my head.
Yeah. Right. So there it is, man. The thrill is gone. All right. Hey, so with that, man, we're gonna give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Wa Abba Ball.
Abba